Good evening.
Good evening.
Spurs. Yeah, good evening. We said we'd be back when we got a new manager. We've got a new manager, so we're back. We're celebrating. It's a double celebration. We've got a new manager, and England are in the final of Euro 2020. I think they're still calling, aren't they?
Yeah.
We did start a minute ago, but I forgot to press go live. So we've just been talking about Keno and his birthday and Sonny's birthday and whatnot. And we started talking about the England and Denmark game because we've got Jens with us, our resident Dane. We talked about the free kick from Damsgaard, his receding hairline. Jens established that he was a bit of a soft. Damsgaard. Jens established that it was a bit of a soft foul. We updated you on Ericsson. Well, we updated ourselves on Ericsson. That's just us four. The only update we've got is he's been walking on the beach and some kid took a selfie with him. And we're not sure if he can carry on playing in Italy because of insurance reasons, because of his pacemaker, I guess you'd call it.
It's AED, I think.
AED, which kicks him, gives him a kick. We were just talking about the Harry Kane penalty shot in the first half, and Dovers was saying he's not sure how that couldn't be overturned because the ref gave a foul for Denmark originally, and then it looked like Kane had got his foot in front of him. Even Jens with his Danish hat on. Even though he hasn't got his hat on at the moment, so he thought it was a foul. Imagine, and we got away with that one. So it's 2-0 to us on unjust decisions so far. The free kick from which Denmark scored and Harry Kane's penalty. So there is a trend developing here. So now we're all up to date with what you guys missed when we were in the backstage area. Next talking point. The goal, England's goal, what a pass from Kane, dropped deep, didn't he, and then put it down the in between the centre back and the full back for a great little run from Saka. I didn't think Saka had a great game actually. Obviously he got an injury, didn't he? So he missed the last game when Sancho came in, but he did all right. But that was his probably main contribution to the game, wasn't it? And sadly, it was Simon. How do you say it, Jens?
Yeah.
And it was just sad that it was him that actually went in off it, didn't it? Like I said on the screen there, the football gods can be cruel sometimes after everything he's been through and achieved in the tournament. For it to go in off of him, it's sod's law, wasn't it?
Sterling was on him anyway, so
he had to play the ball, didn't he? Because Sterling was behind him waiting to tap it. I think everyone just thought Sterling had got the tap in, didn't they? And I should mention I haven't got a ticker there, but just I think 90 seconds before that, hell of a save from Schmeichel, wasn't it? When Kane teed up Sterling and he hit that point blank shot that Schmeichel smothered.
To be fair, it was straight at Schmeichel.
Really bad from Sterling.
It was quite fast, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but I think he could have done a bit better.
Yeah, that tends to be
being harsh.
He didn't move, did he? It was in the middle of his stomach. He couldn't have got out of the way of it if he tried, I don't think.
Tense, did he? So 1-1. Next, obviously, was the penalty incident. What did you think at the time, Jens, when you saw Sterling running into the box, jinxing away, and then going down?
I thought, here we go. He's gonna go over. I don't know. I've looked at it. A number of times. I've looked at it at different angles. I think it's pretty soft, but I'd be shouting if Tottenham weren't giving it, or if Denmark weren't giving it, I'd be upset about it. So the thing I was a little bit upset about was the referee, as Dovers was saying earlier. He didn't seem to want to use VAR at all. He was just making up decisions himself, and as far as I know, I'm not even sure if he checked with VAR for the penalty. I've heard someone say today that it wasn't, but anyway.
It didn't
come up VAR check, didn't it?
Michael just couldn't hold on to it.
Did it, Gaz? It come up VAR check, did it?
Yeah, it was a VAR check, but because I don't think it was clear and obvious because there was a small amount of contact. I agree with Jens, it was very soft. Because I actually thought they'll probably turn around and say no, but I don't think they could overturn it because it wasn't.
I think that's one that's difficult to overturn, isn't it, Gaz?
There was contact.
I think if the ref hadn't given it, then VAR couldn't have said no. Actually, you got to give that because it was too soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jens said, if it's for you, if it's for Tottenham or England, you're going to be shouting, aren't you? I mean, he did look like he did clip one. Andros Townsend was on TalkSport earlier, said if you're running at that pace and then you get a couple of knocks in quick succession, you're going to go down, aren't you? Because it puts you off balance when you're trying to dribble. So Mourinho was on TalkSport saying he didn't think it was a penalty. Simon Jordan didn't think it was a penalty either. Jim White, I don't really care what he thinks. He's a bloody idiot, isn't he? was it Simon Jordan called him the other day? Toxic parasite or something like that, didn't he? Called him an odious little toad.
Odious little toad.
He goes, I'm not an odious little toad, like you pretending you want England to win, but in the background secretly hoping that they lose. Odious little toad. So I was watching it with my mum. I said to Davers, and when Kane missed the penalty was saved, she was like turned around like, oh, I can't believe he's missed that. And we were like, no, watch Lee just put it in. We're all jumping up and down. And she was too busy. She was slagging him off because he'd missed. I knew he'd miss when I was watching. He scores all these penalties, but as soon as I miss, if I watch, he's going to miss. I said to you before, isn't it? Like, good height, and it wasn't in the corner, was it?
Take. Yeah.
He just didn't want to get the record, equal Lineker's record, did he, with a penalty. Speaking of which, Kane's now level Lineker on 10 goals in final tournaments, at only 27 years of age. 38 goals he's on now. Owen's next, I had a little look earlier, on 40. Rooney's top on 53, albeit he's only got 7 goals in tournaments, 6 of those are in Euros, and he's only got 1 in World Cup finals. There's a list of overall scorers, but yeah, it just exposes what a fraud Rooney is, the fat idiot that he is, and Harry Kane's got him in his sights to hunt him down, isn't he?
Harsh.
Gaza, your thoughts on how long is it going to take for Kane to hunt down the fat idiot?
Not long, I don't think. Probably, I don't know. I think you got the World Cup next year.
He'll do it before he's 30.
Yeah, comfortably. I'd say within the next couple of years.
Injuries permitting. That's what happened with Owen, wasn't it? Owen was pissing it, and then he got a load of injuries and sailed off. But he relied on his pace more, didn't he, Owen?
Yeah. Yeah, chances are he'll pick up a brace or a hat-trick here and there against the lesser side, so that'll get him there quicker.
Yeah, that was the other point on Rooney. All of his goals are against,
San Marino.
He was stat padding against all the crap teams, in qualifiers and stuff, which obviously Harry's accused of as well. But it's interesting to see how many Rooney got against the lower teams when he was stat padding. That was a few words on Harry Kane as a fellow Kane lover.
What can you say? What can you say about him? I mean, I actually had a lot of friends last night who were giving Kane a lot of grief about his performance last night, which I couldn't understand myself. He didn't have his greatest night in front of goal. He missed that chance, didn't he, from 5 yards out with literally a couple of seconds to go. Didn't have many shots, but I thought he brought people into the game incredibly well. He played some crucial passes. If Sterling could finish a little bit better, he'd have had a couple more assists to his name as well. Great player, complete striker. Everyone in the England squad's been talking up just how great he is as a professional, how driven he is to win, and I think that's coming across in the whole squad as well. So,
Yep. On that note, coming over to you then, Jens. How proud will you be as a Spurs fan when you see Harry Kane leading? Well, you probably won't be proud to see him lead England out. Maybe I'll come to Gaza first on that one to lead us out in the final on Sunday after watching him grow into the man he is. Gaz, you want to go first and give Jens a bit of time to...
See you, mate. It'll be proud for all Spurs fans and England fans alike. I think I was sitting with an Arsenal fan last night and he was singing Harry Kane's praises.
Oh, really?
Didn't say a bad word about him. Can't really say a bad word about him. But yeah, let's hope that he, as we know in the finals that he's turned up for, admittedly he's come back from injury or being rushed back, but hopefully he'll have a good game and go out there and lead from the front and win it for us with a bit of luck.
Jens, how proud will you be with your Spurs hat on, even though you haven't got your Spurs hat on, as we said before, to see Harry Kane leading out his country at the Euros?
Yeah, it'd be good
in the final.
It'll be very nice. Maybe he'll shut some of his detractors up. I can't believe the amount of grief that he's been getting in the press. Why hasn't he scored? You need to let what's his name, Twinkle Toes Sterling, pass the ball occasionally. I'm sorry, but that guy,
Hogger,
he is terrible. He reminds me a little bit of Lamella. That always
see that.
Take one last touch, But no, I think he's been brilliant. Last night, I thought he was great. He was the outlet. He was running both sides, taking the ball down, running at the defence. I thought he played brilliantly.
Yeah.
He scored a rebound from a penalty, but his overall team play was exquisite.
It's even carried on today. When I got up this morning, I put on Talk Sport. I don't know if you heard this as well, Gaz. As soon as I put it on, you had Jim White and Simon Jordan and a Liverpool fan going on about Harry Kane diving last night. I was like, for fuck's sake, we just got into the finals of Euros and you're all going on about him going down easily and buying fouls and stuff. He's representing your team. You want him to buy fouls and buy a bit of time and space, don't you? And kill the game a bit. I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's how they make their money, though, isn't it? To get people to call in and rant.
I think that's a minority. From my experience, a minority of people that are acting like that at the moment. I think that's one of the best things that's come from this tournament is the unity that it seems to have brought to the country, to sport, to football fans, not just to Spurs fans. I've been able to appreciate players from different clubs in a vein that I haven't been able to for the entirety of my life. Really, I haven't seen an England squad that looks as united as they do currently.
Yeah.
Kane necessarily, I guess, but I
always say on here about Liverpool fans obsessed with Harry Kane going down at Anfield, even though it was Eric Lamella. That same guy was going on this morning. I remember when he went down, dived against us 3 years ago to win a penalty. I'm like, it wasn't him, it was fucking Lamella. They still go on about it all the time, don't they? Just because he took the penalty afterwards, they associate the penalty incident with him. I think that clip I sent you, though, Dave, that was Anfield, wasn't it? You don't give me 2 bites of the cherry or whatever he said. Yeah, because he missed one penalty and then he scored the one afterwards, didn't he?
The other one,
yeah. Speaking of Spurs players in England shirts, let's go on to a former Spurs player who I thought was probably man of the match last night, Kyle Walker. He was fucking brilliant, man. He was like back to his pomp there. One of the oldest players. He's the oldest player in the squad, I think, and he was still the quickest, wasn't he? I think
his pace is incredible. His speed is incredible. There was a stage at the start of the match where Denmark broke through with a long ball over the top, and he had 5 or 6 yards to make up on a youngest. To be honest, I don't know how quick the guy is, but he absolutely ate them up and then just shrugged them off like it was nothing at the end of it as well. Young 21-year-old, and he's eaten up 5 yards on him, and then 30 years old. It's incredible the pace he's got.
There was an incident right deep into extra time as well when again it was like a longer ball. Denmark are like Wimbledon, aren't they? With these long balls. And Mum was having kittens because the Danish guys threw. I was like, don't worry, they won't outrun Kyle Walker. He'll gobble him up in no time. Jens, to get your own back for that comment, we'll come on to you then for the next talking point. How good was Højbjerg during the game, and in fact during the tournament? Just some words on Højbjerg, how good he was throughout the Euros and how you felt he did last night.
Who's the guy written at the bottom? I don't know.
I spelled his name wrong, to be honest.
I've got the R and the J the wrong way around.
I thought he was brilliant. I think that you saw a completely different side to the one that you saw last season at Tottenham, because he was a lot more attacking. His passing was good. I don't know what that bloke has for breakfast, but seriously, he's played every single match in the Premiership last season, and every single match, I think every single minute of every match in the Euros, and he still looked like he could run a marathon. So he's got some. He's got
he must have been having skyr for breakfast.
I was going to say, what was it he used to have?
We had a Danish player that he was exactly the same. He didn't stop running, and he said he had skyr for breakfast every day, like SKYR. It's like a yogurt that they eat in Denmark, apparently. Skyr. Yeah.
We're not saying it right, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we're probably not saying it right. Skyr is like SKYR. Yes, skyr.
I know SKY, which is scoot, which is a meat jelly that you put on top of.
It's like a yogurt. Basically, it's like yogurt.
Okay, because when we were in Denmark, we used to have umun drus, which is like a yogurt with
protein. It's got a
Icelandic. That's why it's not Danish.
You've googled it, have you? Skur.
Yeah, skur. Icelandic yogurt of some description.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Okay. Back onto the game.
We used to play them, so you know.
Yeah, he's decent money, Højbjerg. I mean, I think of our players. I mean, if he didn't play for us and you'd have seen him have that tournament, you'd have been like crabbing for Levy to go and buy him, wouldn't you? So luckily we already got him. So that's a good start for our rebuild, isn't it? Having Højbjerg in there.
Yeah.
What did you make of Southgate's decision to take Grealish off for another defender? Were you spewing at the screen, Gaz?
Did he take Grealish off?
Yeah, in extra time. He took Grealish off and put Trippier on to go 5 at the back.
Right, okay.
Even though it only come on. Yeah, but it made sense now, Davos, but at the time, did you think it was a good decision?
Yeah. Then I can't see who else are we going to take off.
I just don't agree with going on the back foot, you know. Attack is the best form of defence, isn't it?
I think of all the Grealish was on there to make it. He was brought on as an attacking alternative to give us the opportunity to go and score a goal. We scored the goal, and then we had to remain defensively disciplined. If Southgate doesn't believe that he can bring that to the side, then it's absolutely the right decision to bring on somebody more defensive and keep him for the job that he's good at.
You never would have survived the Aussie RD-less team, Davos. We had about 5 attackers and 1 midfielder. Just like everyone bombed forward, try and win 10-9 every week. You'd have been having kittens. Gaz, what did you think? It was a good idea at the time. Obviously, hindsight, it was. I'm not going to say a wise decision, but it paid off. But
it was a bit baffling at first. I don't think anyone realised why and thought it was a bit harsh. But apparently, it's turned out that it was pre-planned, that they discussed it and
really.
Apparently so. So Faye Carruthers was saying today on TalkSport from the England camp. She said they discussed it in one of the breaks and said that tactical reasons.
Yeah. Speaking of TalkSport, how bad has Sol Campbell been on TalkSport? The man can barely string together a sentence, and they had him yesterday. Right. It was fucking cringeworthy. Jim White goes to Simon Jordan. Simon, pretend you're interviewing Sol Campbell for a job. You should have seen Simon Jordan's face. He's like, he didn't know. He basically knew that he could crucify him. And then he's like, so he just basically goes. So Jim White had to step in the end and say, "So, what kind of things do you say in interviews?" Like, yeah, basically, I just want a chance. I was just going on and just talking complete nonsense, and they weren't forming sentences at all. It's so bad.
I attack and I defend.
I like fullbacks that get forward and midfielders that can get up and down. Me and Pep are similar in that.
I didn't hear it myself, but I understand he made the quote that it is harder to win the Euros than it is to win the World Cup. Did anyone hear that?
No.
Well, if you look at the last semi-finalists of the World Cup, all 4 of them were from Europe. The World Cup before that, I think it was 3 out of the 4 were from Europe. The one before that, 4 out of the 4 were from Europe. So I think a lot of the stronger nations, barring Brazil and Argentina, are from Europe at the moment. So it is quite hard, isn't it? But obviously not harder than to win a World Cup. It's
not possible, is it, to be harder, because you've got Europe plus the South American teams.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, so it's harder. Speaking of that idiot, what did everyone make of that video? I thought it's fucking brilliant. Gillian ice cream when you go, mate. I like the way he phrased it. I was like, he's not going to come out of the second bit, is he? Like, you're a cunt, mate. Jelly and ice cream when you go, mate. What was Campbell going to do? He wasn't going to whack him. He's going to make things worse, wasn't it?
No, he was just jabbering away, wasn't he? Trying to take the high ground, but.
And that other idiot on AFTV, he won't celebrate because Kane scores. Have you seen those? Just sat there.
Lee Judge sits there miserable, doesn't
he? Just imagine your country getting to a major tournament final and you can't celebrate because you're that much of an idiot. Oh dear. Before we move on from the Euros, because I see Jens doesn't want to talk about this anymore. Jens, what's been your abiding memory of the tournament from a Denmark hat with a Denmark hat on?
Unfortunately, the Ericsson incident. That's what I'll always remember it for. To be honest, I don't think we would have got this far if Ericsson was playing for us. I think that the team really came together, and Damsgaard absolutely played out of his skin. I mean, I was ready to. I was ready to go home after we lost to Belgium.
I remember you saying, you said we won't get through now without Ericsson.
And then I didn't see the. Someone said, "Oh, but hang on a minute. If you do this and you do that, then you'll go through." And I was like, "Oh, what?" And it turned out that we did. But
it was similar to the year you won it in '92 because you drew with England, you lost to Sweden, and then you beat. And then you beat France 2-1 to go through, didn't you? So similar route through there.
Yes.
So on the flip side of that, from that negative came all of the, I wouldn't say it's positive stuff, but the way that your captain and Schmeichel acted, and when they made the human barrier around Ericsson and all the positive publicity that Denmark got out of the back of that, and football in general, you got to be proud of that at last. That's kind of part of it, isn't it? Really.
And also, I think we have unfortunately, I think we're going to lose Kier soon, but we have quite a young team coming through, similar to England, not as good as England, but so I think I'm hoping we'll make it to the World Cup, and I look forward to that.
You got Vestergaard and is it Anderson that was in Fulham? Yeah, Christensen as well. Yes,
Anderson. I thought was poor when he came on yesterday. I think that's possibly due to the fact that he hasn't really had many minutes in this championship. But to be honest, I mean, all of our best players went off, and in the end, we had two midfielders from Brentford. So
because the commentator said the Chelsea-Brentford rivalry, didn't he, when he came on?
Sorry?
The commentator mentioned the Chelsea-Brentford rivalry. I don't think that's going through their mind just in a minute.
I would have thought so.
Same Matt guys.
Yeah, they're from West London. It's punching lumps out of each other. I think he Damsgaard looked knackered. I think they were spent by 60 minutes, and I'm surprised that it went to extra time, because I thought you were just all over us in the second half.
Yeah, Southgate only made one substitution. We were saying he's crying out for a bit of fresh leg. Sancho, I said wide, wasn't it, to try and take advantage of you, and he was quite happy for it to go extra time. I think that was a bit silly. Me and Dad was saying on text last night, we think he could have gone on the front foot and put you away in normal time, but he's Southgate. He always takes the safe option, doesn't he? But I guess can't argue with him.
It's working.
Yeah, it's working at the moment. Gaz, what's been your abiding memory of the tournament as we approach the final?
Again, I think, like you said about the Ericsson thing, personally, and I'm not, obviously, I'm English, not Danish, and I'm proud of the Danish team, the squad, for how they acted during that point and since. I think I said on the group message that Denmark will be my second team for the rest of the tournament.
Shame we had to play them, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, it was, but they didn't done themselves proud. And as an Englishman, I would say I'm proud of Denmark myself as well.
Absolutely. Right, I'm hoping that my abiding memory is yet to come, John.
Good answer.
That's a good one.
Yeah, good answer. So putting England to one side, with the day we thought we'd never see, along with England getting to a major final, on the ticker there, we've got a new manager. Welcome, Nuno Espirito Santo. Thoughts? Let's go Jens first. What did you think when you heard he was announced, and what are your hopes and aspirations for Nuno?
I have to say, whenever we get a new manager, I always feel quite optimistic, because I feel that they can change things up. He didn't have a great season last season with Wolves. Fair play, they lost Jota, and then was it Neto was out for a large period, injured, two of their best players.
And their striker as well.
Jimenez.
Hit injury, didn't he?
Jimenez, wasn't it? Was it Jimenez?
Him and Escott.
Yeah. So that obviously didn't help. I have to say, every time I've seen us play Wolves, I've thought they've shat all over us. One of the last games I went to at the Lane was when they beat us 3-2, and they were brilliant that day. And so, if he can, if I think there's definitely a talented manager in there. He's not the big name that I think we wanted. I mean, I hate Chelsea, but I was quite excited about Conte. But he's Premiership proven, not top half Premiership proven so much. And obviously, someone like Ten Hag or the other lot, they're not Premiership proven. So you don't know if they're gonna, if they've got what it takes. So I'm quite excited about it. And yeah, come on, Nuno, not Nuno.
Someone said on one of they had a Wolves fan on one of the podcasts, they said it's similar to him losing Son, Kane and Højbjerg last season and then expecting him still to do well. Yeah. So we struggled, didn't we, when all those guys were out in Mourinho's first season, so can't judge him too harsh on that. But he's got the Premiership experience, hasn't he? I think he's quite a tough but fair manager, whereas Mourinho's got this reputation for being unfair now, and he would pick some people. So he's apparently a bit more of a people person, Nuno. He likes to get friendly with them, but they know they can't step out of line, kind of thing. So it's a different approach for the modern player, isn't it? Really, you need to juggle the way to talk to them and sort of deal with them all a bit better, more positive. Don't you? Mourinho's way doesn't really work anymore, apparently, does it? Gaz, on Nuno, thoughts?
Yes, it could. I think it could have been far worse. Could have been much better as well. But as you say, Premiership proven already. If we can get rid of some of that dead wood, providing that's what he wants to do, if he wants to get rid of those certain players, then we can replace. We're not going to spend big. We know that because that's the unique way. But yeah, we didn't. We were. I would imagine we were all quite underwhelmed when Pochettino turned up. So we may get lucky and get another Pochettino style phase of our.
It was similar because Pochettino impressed his personality and style on the team in a short period of time. Then Nuno did the same thing, which is always a sign of a good manager.
As Jens said, obviously with last season, the injuries, I mean, a lot of goals went with Jota and Jimenez. Likewise, if you took Kane and Son out of our side, we'd struggle because, you haven't got that many players who are going to come up with 20, 25 goals a season. But yeah, it is what it is. He's our manager now. We've got to see what happens. Embrace it, I guess.
Get behind him, yeah. Davos?
And still give Enoch shit every game.
Yeah.
I think we're more likely to be looking at FA Cups and things like that rather than Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues with Nuno for the sort of short-term future. I don't think he's the name that's going to keep Kane at the club, albeit I'm becoming more and more convinced that nobody can afford to buy him. So we'll see what happens if we can keep the better parts of the squad together and we can recycle some of the crap. He's got a nice style of playing football. He talks well in the media. He's got a good presence about him. So we'll see what happens. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's kind of Enoch level, really, isn't it? It's the way our signings have been for the last little while. We don't fish in the top pool. We don't fish in the bottom pool. We kind of hover somewhere between and then hope that they'll come good, really.
Yeah, you've touched on his character there, which is what I wanted to discuss about. I mean, he's got a lot of fans in the game. They'll say what a nice guy he is. Not obviously nice guys finish last. Nice, where he doesn't have the balls to make decisions and stuff. But I've just put on here now. Apparently, during the pandemic, he donated £250,000 of his own money to help the homeless people around Wolves. And he seems to be a man of integrity and a nice guy. So maybe Levy's hoping by employing him, it will sort of take the flack off him a bit more. Do you think that might happen, Jens?
I wouldn't have thought so. I think a lot of people are very upset with the managerial side, and you should see one of the forums I go on, the thread for who's our next manager, the amount of vitriol that's being thrown around is, I haven't seen anything like that since Sherwood. So
is it going to be difficult though to give Levy shit and not get behind Nuno? It's going to be a strange one, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't really know how we do that.
No.
Maybe we should make up a song of Levy, you're a cunt, Nuno, you're all right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said that word again.
Yeah, C word. It's past the watershed somewhere in the world, isn't it? You'll be all right. Gaz, what do you think about that on the point on the screen there? Is it's going to be difficult to give Levy shit whilst still being supportive and getting behind Nuno?
I think Levy's going to get shit no matter what. 100%. Unless we start winning, he'll get it for the first 5-6 games unless we go on an unbeaten run and we're top of the league by 3-4 points. Haven't conceded a goal, some weird miracle like that. That might only calm it down, but I think there's a lot of water passed under the bridge now, Tottenham fans, and they're going to make their feelings known.
Do you think Levy thinks, though, that by hiring Nuno, it's going to get the flack off of him a little bit because he's a nice fella that the fans are going to kind of like?
Who knows what he thinks? However, I wouldn't put it past him because I'm pretty certain that's how his brain ticks.
I think
a way of trying to flick to flack.
Go on, Davs.
I think it was actually the appointment of, I'm going to try to say it, Paratici. Was that his name?
Paratici.
Yeah, we're going to go with it. I think it was actually the appointment of him that Levy feels will get him out of the firing line, because he will feel now that he is hiding from that part of the role. He'll feel that he's passed over the part of the role that the fans didn't like him doing to another man. So they can take that shit now, and he will.
Human shield.
Yeah, there's my shield for that. I'm gonna worm my way back into the woodwork somewhere a little bit further, where I'm not quite so on the front line with that sort of thing. I can't be blamed for transfers now. I can't be blamed for bringing the manager because it was his fault, not mine. He was the one that wanted him, not me.
And in a seamless link, that's our next point. Levy thinking that he's going to get away with that, but he isn't. Have we left ourselves too much to do in a short period of time after the Euros? We all said that it was going to be a pivotal season this upcoming year, and we needed a lot of work doing in the summer, didn't we? A lot of crap players to get out, new players to get in, and all that dead wood to be shifted. And we haven't done any of it so far. I mean, they've still got to sort out Kane and Son's contract, and now Toby's come out and said for family reasons he wants to go back to Belgium so his young family can grow up in his homeland, haven't they? So they've got the Toby situation to sort out as well when he gets there from Euro duty. We've left ourselves no time to do everything, haven't we? Standard piss up in the brewery, isn't it?
And it's one fix or one thing, but I understand we're after Vestergaard.
We'll come on to that. I've got some transfer targets sorted. It's a couple of points' time. It's actually the next one down, latest transfer rumours. So we've left ourselves no time to do anything. I mean, when's the season start? A month? 3 weeks? It's August, isn't it? Yeah.
12th of August.
The pre-season friendlies are the middle of July, and we're like the 8th now, aren't we? So it's not long at all.
I wanted to go on a dry month. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that now.
No.
Watching football makes me want to drink.
So let's go on to the as Dave touched on there, the latest transfer rumours. So I've been looking through news now and all of the sites today. So defensively, we're linked with a number of defenders. Obviously, the Japanese guy, isn't he, Takahiro Tomiyasu. Any movement on that? Nothing seems to be forthcoming. He seems like a bit of. It seems the same as Tanganga, doesn't he? Like a guy that can play right back or centre back. Yeah.
Apparently, quibbling over £2 million.
If you believe the media. Yeah.
Maguna's looking at him as well, apparently.
They think that might just be a plant to make Levy get on with it. Right. You never know, do you? I don't know who his agent is. And as Davos said, as well as Joachim Andersen of Denmark, we're also linked with Vestergaard, who's 28. They're both available. Good. I think they've both got Premiership proven ability there now. Jens is not impressed with Vestergaard, no?
No, I don't think. Maybe in a Jose team, if they're sitting back and playing a low block or whatever you call it. But if we want to play a high line, he's not fast enough. He's not good enough with the ball at his feet.
Does Federico Fazio come to mind?
Yes.
He's flying. Jose's got him now, isn't it, Raymer?
Yeah.
Good luck, yeah. So Joachim Andersen's been linked with us since middle of last season, and so that seems to be a deal that I hope goes through, because he looked quality for Fulham.
Yeah,
proper backs to the wall, similar to Roden, really, backs to the wall, proper defender, but can play the ball as well. Yeah. So him and Roden would be a good centre backs with a big guy in between them, maybe. We're also linked through, speaking of big guys in between them, the Seville's central defender, Jules Koundé. Apparently, he's quite highly rated. Yeah,
he is, but I think he's too much for us.
Is he a lot of money, is he?
Well, apparently we're going to offer 50 mil, but I think Seville want near 70, 80.
Yeah.
How much can we flog Sanchez for? Has he had a good Copa America?
He scored a penalty the other day, and then he missed the penalty.
He missed one, didn't he?
Sent him out, and there's a meme going around of Messi completely making him look like a mug, but he does that to most people, doesn't he? So Sanchez is kind of running alongside him, just kind of throwing himself at Messi occasionally, just getting nowhere near him. And he falls over towards the end, which is standard Sanchez. What I did find funny, considering the state of our midfield, it's probably a weak area last year, that we're not really linked to many midfielders. The only one we are linked to is Pjanic, who's available, which is a Paratici signing, if ever I saw, wasn't it? He's available on a free because Barcelona have had to release all of their players because they've got a wages issue. They're fucked.
So aren't we also linked to another defender called Lacroix?
I didn't see him on there today. Where's he from? Yes,
French bloke. Let me have a look. I saw it on the.
Well, that's good though, because it shows that they know that we're not blind like the rest of us, and they know we need to strengthen the.
Maxence Lacroix plays as centre back for Wolfsburg.
Okay.
21 years old, 1.90 m.
Is he French? With that name like that?
Yes.
French, yeah.
And he's played for played up to the under 20s, but he's only played 30 games for Wolfsburg, but he's 21. So
at least we're linked in that area, which is what we need. Pjanic, it was a guy that we were linked with a couple of years ago before he went to Barca, when he was probably 27, 28, and it would make sense. He's better than what we've got, isn't he? He's coming from Barcelona. Yeah. I mean, that's the way I always look at transfers. Is he better than what you've got? And he's much better than Winks and Sissoko, isn't he? Yeah. Coming from Barcelona.
Do you think Oliver Skip is in the plan?
That's another thing I was going to put up on my ticket, David. I think it looks good for Skip, doesn't it, that we're not linked to too many midfielders, because it seems to suggest that he's going to get an opportunity at least, which is, I think we all want, don't we, really?
They seem to be making it very clear with all the failed managers that the manager who came in would be expected to work with the younger players, the youth players as well. So
Skip and Sessegnon.
Skip, Sessegnon, they're the two players that come to mind when I think of youth players for us at the moment. Possibly that youngster Dane Scarlett as well up front. So there's a few players knocking around the fringes that I suspect will be forced into the first team this year.
Yeah. The other one that... Go on, Jens.
They when it was mentioned about Tottenham buying a new right back, there was some rumours saying that they were going to look within the club at the youth team.
Someone they quite
the
like.
The only one that I can think of is Lavinia.
They rate him very highly. All the guys, he can play right back and left back apparently, but they rate him very highly. Yeah. Oh yeah, they say he is ready. Yeah, but he needs an opportunity. Yeah. Maybe that's the way they're going to go.
Cool. He came on in Europa League, didn't he? A couple of times. He looked all right.
Yeah, and he did look lively. Yeah. He's ready to play a full season, or if
they've got high hopes of him. If they could bring him in, because Doherty's going to stay now, isn't he? You'd think with Nuno coming in, so we can get rid of Aurier and then maybe get Lavinia as our backup right back with the Doc, and obviously Tanganga play there as well. And Stevie and his fat ass, he might be able to play full back, wing back. Bergwijn, they reckon he might. He's got the attributes to play wing back, isn't he, as well? Speaking of wingers, we are also linked with this guy, which would make sense because obviously Bale looks like he's going to go back to Madrid now that Ancelotti's there. So there's a Valencia winger who's apparently one of George Mendes's clients, and he was linked with Wolves all last season. And apparently there's talk that he's going to come to us now. Gonzalo Guedes, 24, apparently he's quite good, and that would make sense, wouldn't it? We need a right winger, and we're just got into bed with George Mendes, haven't we? So I think that would make a lot of sense, that guy. So that's an early talk of him coming. So I wouldn't be surprised if that one comes through. And then the other links are our backup striker. Obviously, Vinny's gone back, hasn't he, to Benfica. So the talk is Danny Ings. That's been around for ages, isn't it? I'd be quite happy with that. I think he's a good Premiership player now, isn't he? Like he's had his moves to Liverpool, and he kind of settled back down at Southampton. And every time we play him, he scores against us, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd take him, but would he accept playing second fiddle to Kane?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we're playing 3 at the back, we can play 2 up top, can't we? 3-5-2, 3-4, and then Kane could drop a bit deeper and play up there with him. I think we can squeeze him in if we do play that way. It'd be quite good when he'd run in the channels. Well, Sonny can do it as well, obviously. And there's a big lump forward that we're linked to as well. Haris Seferovic, who obviously we saw a bit of playing for Switzerland in the Euros. Big lump, good player as well, good tidy feet, good feet for a big man, Peter Crouch style. So I think he might be the one that we try for. It'd be a good price as well, and if he's 29, not that we tend to buy.
I thought he was extremely wasteful all the times that I've seen him play. I've seen him play a couple of times against Denmark in a playoff to get into.
Yeah.
I think in the Europe, and then in the matches I saw him play, he reminds me a little bit of Sterling. And obviously Sterling's not forward, but that he needs 6 or 7 good chances to score 1 goal.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure that's only my opinion and what I've seen of him.
Yeah, Andy Cole comment. That's what Hoddle said about Andy Cole all those years ago, and he needs 6 chances to score a goal, and you want a good striker to score 1 in 3, don't you? Really?
Do you think? What about Jimenez from Wolves? Do you think there's any likelihood in someone like that? With
they had a Wolves fan on one of the other podcasts yesterday, and they said they don't think anyone will take him because they don't know how he's going to come back from that head injury. You know, they're thinking people might just sit on their gunpowder a bit and see how he goes next season if that head injury affects him at all, rather than just taking a punt on him now. Yeah, it could be if he doesn't if he loses a bit of confidence the way he plays and playing with that headband, it could affect him and stuff. Couldn't he? He's got to play with that thing like Peter Cech now, hasn't he? He's got to wear that all the time. Yeah. So that could affect him. So I think that might be a poo-poo. Who would you take from Wolves, though, if you had a choice? I know Davos, the obvious answer there, because you love Adama Traore, don't you? Would you take him if we could get him?
Yeah, so he's a great option. He's a great option to have, isn't he? I think most teams in the world would love that sort of option off the bench. It's something completely unique, isn't it? There's not many people in the world can offer that sort of option. If you're really struggling to break a team down, to be able to bring on someone like that off the bench is huge benefit. Although Spain didn't seem to want to do it too much in the Euros, did they?
They got him warmed up. Maybe he didn't have enough time to put all his baby oil on or whatever, and he ran out of time. We do need a right winger, as we touched on earlier, so that would be an obvious one. And who's the centre mid? That we've been linked with him as well. Their creative little player, not Matinho, the other one, Neto. Neto,
great. He's a really good player. I think I would rate him highly. So that'd be a good signing again.
English to English clubs, though, is always going to be a premium, isn't it? That's the only problem. If you're paying for Premiership experience these days, aren't you?
I think you'd be looking at trades, sort of swap deals and stuff. If you start looking at Wolves,
Winks, you can let Winks to Wolves. Let's start the hashtag now.
We'll have some ball scratchings. Nice.
Winks to Wolves. They can have Sissoko too. Right. Next up, Jens, have you got your hat? It's time.
No, there's one other forward I heard. Dusan Vlahovic, Serbian from Fiorentina, 21 years old, 21 goals in 37 matches in Serie A last season. Apparently Fiorentina are in financial problems and are possibly looking to sell. So he's someone who, rather than buying a backup to Kane, he's someone who can probably replace Kane in a couple of seasons. If he leaves, so that might be an interesting.
Yeah, with the Italian links with Paratici, you think would be linked to most good young players over there, and I think a lot of the Italian clubs seem to be struggling financially, don't they? So we should be able to cherry pick them. Remember when the pandemic first hit. Levy said some comment about this a good time to buy players, isn't it? Because a lot of the other players are going to be desperate. So now he's got Paratici in there with his inside links. I think we'll get a lot of players from Italy. That's the market he knows, isn't he? He's not going to dip into the English conference, is he? Jens, so have you got your hat ready? It's time for your quiz. You're not wearing your hat this week?
Nah,
bombed it.
I don't have one of those clap.
I haven't got a Danish hat.
I haven't got one.
Right, let's put the ticker on the bottom then there. The fanboy quiz this week is on to cheer Jens up after graciously agreeing to come on the show, win, lose or draw. Yesterday, we'd have been copping it from him, but we'll give him a bit of vanity project. We'll let him talk about Denmark when they won the Euros. So the quiz this week is on Denmark winning the Euros in 1992. Gaza, scorekeeper, are you ready?
Yep. I'm ready, boss.
Davos, the official adjudicator, are you ready? You got your glasses on, that's why you got that job sorted. Right, Jens, are you ready?
Yes, mate.
In we go. Question 1. Denmark famously got a late call up to the tournament, replacing war-torn Yugoslavia. But who else was in Group 1 from which they qualified for the next round at the actual tournament? We actually talked about it earlier, so you should know.
So sorry, the finals,
group, when you got to the finals, when you got to the finals.
France, England, and Sweden.
Yep, it was. And there's the final placings as well. Sweden came top. Denmark was second. Sweden, France, and England knocked out.
That was a big surprise.
I think that was French
with
Graham Taylor. Yeah, Graham Taylor on it. Remember, who's the Swedish guy? Brolin knocked us out, didn't he? With that little outside of the
Thomas Brolin.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, he did get really fat, didn't he? Question 2. Whose penalty did Peter Schmeichel famously save in the shootout in the semi-final?
Marco van Basten.
He did. He did indeed. 2 from 2. As ever, Jens is flying at the traps. Question 3. Which player had the honour of scoring the 5th penalty to put you into the final 5-4 on penalties you won after the Van Basten miss?
Kim Christofte.
Can you name his middle name? He had a weird middle name earlier. I didn't copy it across though. No, it's not. For a bonus question.
I can tell you who he played for.
Go on.
One boot.
Davos, can you Google Kim Christofte and see what his little Danish middle name is, just out of interest, for all those Danish millions out there watching?
Pitala.
Vitala, there you go.
Pitala. I don't know how you say it. 2 eyes.
Kim Vitala Christofte, as English would say it. Question 4, Jens. Denmark beat Holland in their semi-final, but who did Germany beat in their semi-final to get to the final?
The Turnips. Sorry, Swedes.
I never realised until earlier that you actually won the Euros in your rival's backyard. That is impressive. I didn't even realise that until earlier. Yeah, like late call up to the tournament, you weren't even in it, and then you won it in their tournament in their own backyard. Unbelievable. Added just a nice little twist to that as well. Question 5. A total of 4 Danish players scored in the tournament. Can you name them?
Does he get a point for each one?
He's got to get them all right to get the point.
Okay.
Lars Elstrup.
Correct. There's 1.
Henrik Larsson.
Correct. He got 3.
Yeah. John Jensen.
Correct.
And Kim Vilfort.
Motherfucker. Yeah. Henrik Larsson got the goal.
Oh, he was brilliant. Absolutely amazing. I mean, he was. I can't even remember. I think he played for Lindby, who are a team north of Copenhagen. And when they brought him on, I just thought, what the fuck's this guy going to do? And it was absolutely amazing. Ran rings around.
Another interesting, although sad fact I saw earlier when I was looking up. I think Kim Vilfort missed the 3rd group game or the semi-final because his little girl was very ill. She had leukemia. I think she died in the end from it. He flew home to see her because she was really poorly, and then came back and actually scored the goal, which pretty much secured the title for you, didn't he? The second goal.
That would have been disallowed these days. He handballed it. They would have checked it on far. He actually used his hand like that, and but yeah, who cares?
So with Maradona's, that's what we've been saying all day. People have been calling us, cheats and divers, but the amount of times we've been undone by cheats and divers over we're not going to lose any sleep over it.
Was it?
Yeah, the one
against Germany. It's almost as bad as the Pedro Mendes one.
Mate, we could do a whole podcast on the amount of times England have been dicked over by cheating and bad luck. So you've got to take the good luck when you get it, haven't you? Right, Gazza, how many to go out of 5?
5.
Yes, I just wanted you to say that to give him his kudos. Question 6. Which 2 Danish players made it into the team of the tournament?
This is going to be a guess. Henrik Larsson and Schmeichel. Ooh, okay.
Oh.
Brian Laudrup.
And I just put that one up there because I like Schmeichel's middle name. Bolis. How do you say that in Danish? Boleslav.
I'd say Boleslav. I've never heard of it. That sounds Polish.
Yeah, doesn't it? It's got a little Danish little line for it there, so it must be derivative of you guys.
Pronunciation.
Right. So what's that? 5.5, 6, 5.5. He got Schmeichel, didn't he? Yeah, for Schmeichel, he didn't get Laudrup, did he? Question 7. The players famously attributed drinking beer and staying up until 6 a.m. as part of their laid-back approach to the tournament. But what food did they also attribute to their success?
Pulsa? Danish sausages?
Pussy.
Pulsa.
Danish pussy. Swedish pussy. Swedish pussy.
There's loads of that, mate. I tell you.
Out there, yeah. So Swedish pulsa is your final answer, is it?
Danish pulsa, they're red sausages. It's like, in England you have fish and chips where you go out to have a takeaway. In Denmark they have pulsa, which you get 2 sausages and a piece of bread and ketchup and mustard and stuff. But
no, you're way off. So they said, obviously, that they were late into the tournament, so there was no expectation on them. So they just turned up and said they expected to lose 5-0 3 times and to go home. So there was no pressure on them. They said they just had a whole chilled out camp, and that was that Will Tord said. What was the secret to success? So he said drinking beer, staying up until 6 a.m. That's my Danish accent, and eating McDonald's. Yeah. He said they used to stay up all night and they were eating McDonald's and all kinds of junk food.
I do like your impression of Kim Wilford.
it's a bit Russian, isn't it? It's a bit Russian. So yeah,
I love
McDonald's, the health food of 1992.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if he's joking, but he's a famous quote he keeps saying. I've seen it lots of times. Last question, Jens. Which year did Denmark famously first qualify for a major tournament?
84.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, we were in the Euros in '84.
You weren't. Have a look. That Mexico in '86 was your.
We were in the Euros in '84 because we got knocked out by the Spanish in the semi-finals. Sure of it.
Adjudicator. I got this from Wikipedia and I Googled it as well.
Okay.
So that hero video we were talking about earlier, the 1986 story of the World Cup, I think that was your first ever bow. I think you qualified for the Olympics a few times.
No, we were there. 84. We were there.
Davos?
We came second in our group to
86
France.
they qualified for their first World Cup.
Yeah.
I can't find about 84.
Let's see Euros 84. Where was 84 Euros?
It was in Spain, wasn't it? Oh no, France.
France 84. See if they're in the group, were they?
Belgium 2 in the 1984 Euros. Denmark 1, Spain 1. Spain won on 5-4 on penalties. They were there, John.
84 then.
Getting them out of history, but they were there.
He's always trying to cheat me.
Jens
I don't know this boy anymore.
trick question. You came through with flying colours. So, Gaz, what does that leave him on? That's the final question there. What did he get?
6.5.
6.5. Is that your record, Jens? I think it might be.
Didn't I get 7 in the lorry Brown one?
Did.
Big Laurie Brown, oh dear.
I can't believe
the
I
one
know
where he
Big
lost
Lorry.
his notes.
I know my own country.
I deliberately used more than one source this time. Well, obviously incorrectly used one source as well. Well done, Jens.
That's interesting, that McDonald's one. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah. It was Will Tour. He gave a few interviews and he said, stay up all night. Didn't go to bed. They used to drink beer. And someone said like 1 or 2 beers because apparently the Germans, it was before they played the German game, and they said they were drinking milk in the lead up to it. And he was like, we were drinking beer and eating McDonald's. I made him Russian again, haven't I?
It's okay. Don't worry. I know where to find you.
Yeah, I know where to find you. I know where your children live. Right. So on that note, that's the end of the podcast. So it just leaves us to go around the table and what are your predictions for the final on Sunday? Can we beat Italy? And what are your match predictions and score predictions? We'll give the English guys a little time to think. So we'll go to Jens first. What do you reckon is going to happen on Sunday, England v Italy?
I think you can definitely beat them. I thought Italy looked tired, whereas the English haven't looked tired at all, I don't think. I reckon 2-1 in normal time.
Harry Kane. Can you imagine Harry Kane lifting?
Yeah, Kane with all 3.
I think I might cry. Yeah, I own goal as well.
I'm pretty confident that you will. I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to be able to stay up that late because I have to be in work in the morning for quite a long day. But, let's hope it finishes in normal time.
Yeah, you hope so. My nephews do as well, I'm sure, because they struggle to start for extra time. Gaz, what are you thinking? Sunday?
I think we can beat them. They do look tired. I don't think we're going to beat them in normal time now. I think it's going to go extra time again. Got this weird feeling it's going to be like another 2-1 kind of game that goes into extra time. I think we should, if we play really well, we play as well as we can do. I think we've got more than enough to beat them. Spain showed that Italy can be beaten. They should have been beaten.
Definitely, yeah, they were better than them, weren't they? Spain, I think they were the better team. If they had a striker, Morata is such a confidence player. Though. I mean, at Chelsea, as you saw, he missed a few chances early in his career and he's disappeared. Juventus, he's been flying all season. He kind of won me back around because I watched a few Juventus games. I thought there's actually a player in there after all, but he missed a chance in the first game for Spain and he never recovered again, did he? And when he was taking that penalty, his eyes were just gone, weren't they? You could tell he was going to miss.
Yeah. To be fair, when he came on actually against Italy, he looked all right. I thought he looked quite well.
Yeah. Speaking of penalties, just a quick one. Someone noticed that Harry Kane didn't do his little, he does his little start with his feet last night. So it's only the second time he hasn't done it, and the other time he didn't do it, he missed against Liverpool as well. So obviously the pressure and the moment got to him a bit, and he didn't do his usual routine. So hopefully someone's reminded him of that in case he needs to take one on Sunday. From Harry Kane to a Harry Kane lookalike, albeit you've got glasses on to try and disguise yourself. Davers, what are you thinking about Sunday?
1-0 win, Jack Grealish, screamer, 88th minute.
Very precise. You're going to put money on that?
No.
I might.
Seems so sure, didn't he? Seems so sure.
It's all planned out.
I'll put Monday off, by the way.
Have you? Have we got football Monday? Do you know, Gaz? Or
we should have.
Yeah, so you'll be hanging for football.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, nice. I expect your average kilometre rate to go flying down then. And on that note, I guess it falls on us to say, come on England for Sunday. It would be just amazing to see Harry Kane lift the trophy. Like I say, I think I might cry. I see Harry lifting a trophy there when that whistle goes or when he lifts that trophy, because he's done everything so right, hasn't he, in his career, the way he's conducted himself, his fitness and his practice and everything. Just to see all that hard work rewarded after Levy's let him down with the Spurs project.
Do you think a major trophy with England would sort of eat up some of his hunger for winning trophies and mean that he's more likely to stay at Tottenham?
I think so. Yeah.
Well do.
because he's had his payoff for all his dedication, his hard work over his career, hasn't he? Everything he's done to live a clean-cut life, marrying his childhood sweetheart, all the dedication he's shown. It would be a nice payoff for him. I think it would be a beautiful story, wouldn't it, for him alone, after everything he's given back to us, and after all the stick he's had from other fans and the media and stuff, for him to come through and win that would be a beautiful end to his story arc, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah.
There was a lovely
2 goals, so he finished as top goal scorer as well.
Go on, Jens.
There was a great photo of him and his now missus as, I think, 12-year-olds or something with David Beckham.
David Beckham, yeah.
I thought that was quite special.
Somebody London is in the team as well. They were going through it the other day, weren't they? Obviously Sterling, Saka, Kane, Declan Rice as well, and Mason Mount, all guys that were born in and around sort of the Wembley area and the North London area. So it'd be nice for them as well. It's a nice little story for them as well. So fingers crossed. Come on, England. I guess we should reconvene probably a week or so before the season to discuss hopefully the incomings and the outgoings and to give our predictions for the season ahead. But until then, arrivederci. It's 1-on-1. Express yourself. Gaza, are you going to do John Barnes rap?
Caroline's finish.
Yeah. Gaza, John Barnes rap to finish off.
No, they did that rap in Parliament today. Some old boy was doing it.
Did he? What, John Barnes rap?
Yeah.
You've got to. Oh, he did the whole thing. Impressive.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. The best we can do is Peter Beardsley. See you later, everybody. Goodbye.
All right.
Take care.
Coming
Bye,
over.
guys. Bye-bye. It's coming. It's coming.
But